Hello, my name is David Lynn from Peak Safety Performance in Greenville, South Carolina. I want to take some time today to talk to you about building a safety GPS with your company. I think this is one of the most important things you can do. And when I think about what a safety GPS is, it reminds me of how I started safety when I began my career working with OSHA. Back in 1992, I was a compliance officer in South Carolina, and one of my main roles was to go to different jobs all over the state. And to do that, I needed to have maps. And so we didn't have GPS in 1992. And so I had a bundle of maps I kept in a pouch in my car. So every time I went to a new town, I'd pull out my map. I would find the grid, I'd find the street, and I'd line everything up, and then I would find my location. And then the hardest part about using that map was the fact that I had to refold the map exactly the way it was folded to be able to put it back in my pouch. And for anybody that's ever used the map, you know exactly how hard that is. It's cumbersome. But you know what? I found where I needed to go. Now, as time has evolved, we have GPS now. Now, tell me how important that is and how much different and better GPS is. All you do is you type in your address, and then you'll get 3 or 4 blue lines to show up on your phone or on your device, and then you choose which one's quicker, which one's faster, the one with less traffic. You have options at that point. It is a lot more less cumbersome. And so here's the thing. I think about old school maps and new technology with GPS, and there is a direct relationship with safety. When I got started back in the day with the maps, it was cumbersome. And when I left OSHA and I went to work at Duracell in a battery manufacturing plant where we made over 1 billion batteries a year at Duracell in Lancaster, South Carolina, I had the knowledge of safety from my OSHA background. It was like having a big bundle of maps in my back pocket. But the problem is, my idea of safety was tied around all the regulatory requirements, and it felt cumbersome and in a bundle that was hard to use. And especially when you think about how hard it is to repack a map, refold it, I just struggled early in my career because it did not make fluid sense. And so as I got older, experienced more things, and I understood basic concepts of safety, principles, and practices that demonstrate those principles, it became easier. And so what I want to be able to do is give you a few ideas on how to build your safety GPS. It's all about putting principle to practice. And so what we do with our principle to practice, follow the blue line process, is we take human performance principles and build a strong organization based on these principles and the practices that demonstrate it. So, for example, when we talk about management commitment and how important that is, we put the practices in place that demonstrate that management commitment. Engagement tools, audit tools, interactive tools, things that show your workforce how important management is. Employee involvement is equally important. So in that GPS, follow the blue line framework, we find ways to get employees legitimately and effectively involved in your program. They need ownership. So good approaching others programs, mentoring programs, safety teams, things like that are key. We also take the idea that work site analysis is key. We have to analyze our work and look for the unsafe trends in our workplace. So we take practices like good audits, good investigations, and things of that nature, incorporate employee involvement, management support, and what you have is you begin to see the GPS of safety begin to take place. We are following a blue line to get to that safe culture. And we also incorporate good leadership training practices where we do all the right OSHA training. We do leadership training to equip supervisors. We make sure we're mentoring people. We do weekly toolbox topics. We take that concept, that principle of training and communication, and make sure we are optimizing all the ways to be able to do that effectively. And then last, what we do is we take the controls and prevention measures that make things work, and we make sure we have the right roadmap, the right procedures, the right rules, the right controls in place to separate people from the risk. So here's the thing. If I think about managing safety like a bundle of maps, it's cumbersome. You've got the knowledge, you've got the things you need to know, but being able to put it in place is hard. Being able to build a framework based on principles and practices is really the GPS I'm talking about. You can follow the blue line. And the main thing that you can do is you can take your organization, lay it out in a simple principle of practice process, and mark the things that are weak, mark the things that are strong, and slowly over time begin to build those practices that make things work. So when I think about history and today, I think about cumbersome things and knowledge of the past, but also a great opportunity to build a safety framework for the day. And the benefit is that you're always continuously improving. Your organization, your company has the ability to be able to influence safe decisions. And you do it with structure, you do it with strategy, and you do it by laying out a consistent framework that works. Again, I appreciate your time today. My name is David Lynn with Peak Safety in Greenville, South Carolina, and I hope that we can work together in the future. Thank you.